Welcome back. My name's Nekrage, and I'm here with Diablo 4. Today we're going to be looking at some things that I think D4 really needs to work on. I like the game, but we can all agree there's plenty of work to be done to make it a fantastic game, right? A game with longevity, a game with real progression and lots of endgame and overall fun, right? We want to feel like the systems work, and it definitely is missing some things, and some systems don't really make sense. So we're going to deep dive into that. I'm on my level 100 here. Level 100 hardcore barbarian. I hit level 100 with my wife. That video has been uploaded as well to the channel. Check that out. That was pretty cool. So we're gonna get started here. We're gonna jump into some things that I've heard some people talk about, and I've also heard some things on this list that no one has even mentioned, and I'm shocked. I'm gonna start off with one of those. Ready? We're gonna start off with one thing that I'm like, why doesn't this exist? Where is this? And I got an item here because let's just say I wanted this item, but I'm not sure if I actually want to use it. Like, I have this item, I got it to drop, and I'm like, well, what does it look like if I level it to max? Well, currently, you kind of have to level it to max to see what it looks like at max level, right? We can only see each incremental upgrade, and they're not necessarily going to be equivalent every time you upgrade it, right? So when I upgrade this, you'll see like 3.8, 6.4, 3.8, 6.4, blah, 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 keeps going up, and it'll go up to max. Some things don't scale like that, like infinitely, like to the max level, so you can't really calculate everything like, okay, 3.8, and it's going to do that 5 times. Doesn't always work like that. Some items you can, and that's also a problem. It's like, well, what works like that and what doesn't? So I made a very, very quick, I literally used paint to do this. Made it very, very quick, an image of that same exact item in the same exact place. Why don't we have an interface like this? This is the base level of the item, and this is the next upgrade, and the next upgrade, and it's like a line, like showing like, maybe like a gold line in between it, like a little arrow saying, this is where we are, and the gold line shows it's going to this rank 1, and then the gold line will be going to rank 2, and then rank 3, and it's showing where you are, and where you're gonna go, and how the item progresses at each stage. This way, you can look at it right away at level 5, what it looks like at max, what it looks like at tier 3, Why isn't there an interface like that? Like an arrow from the top of what you have, and it drops down each rank to show you what the weapon or the item is going to look like at each tier. I think we need a little bit of a UI adjustment to the upgrade system. So let me know what you think about each and every point we make in this video, by the way. So if you like that, let me know. Let me know what you think about everything we discussed in this video. Power leveling issue. I consider it an issue. I have this video sped up here. I have my brother's character. My brother and I, I'm boosting his character. I have a level 100 barb, obviously the same character here that I'm using to boost him. And this is obviously sped up, but as you can see, this video started, he was level 1. He's already level 3. He's level 4 now. We are literally about 50 seconds into the video. He already went up 3 levels. The speed leveling, I don't know, benefit, speed that you can level up someone's new character or alt is absolutely absurd. And it almost cheapens the hardcore experience a little bit because, and I'll fast forward here into segments a little bit here so you guys can see exactly how fast we do this. It almost cheapens the hardcore experience because if you lose a hardcore character, you can really, really quickly boost it up to 50 in about an hour. He's level 19 right now. Someone else decided to join us. One of my guild members, Duckfat, decided to tag along. We are about 22 minutes into the video. He's level 20. 35 minutes, he's level 37. He is level 47 at 51 minutes in. And if we fast forward to about the hour point I want to reach, he is at 49. And we were slow a little bit. It wasn't like a speed run. I was selling items. Some people were taking AFK breaks that weren't exactly the quickest they could have been to get into the next dungeon. So at an hour and 7 minutes, he hits level 50. We could easily do that below an hour. We could do that maybe like 58 minutes, 55 to 58 minutes around there if we really, really push it. It's insane. It could take someone like a week to hit 50, maybe like 5-6 days of legitimate playtime, maybe 3 to 4 hours a night. Like that's a real reasonable rate to hit level 50. So to be able to do that in an hour is absurd. That is insane. I really do think something needs to be done about that. It's just, it truly cheapens the experience, in my opinion, and I know people like it. They like leveling fast if they lose their character, if they have an alt. I know it, like, feels good, but it really does cheapen the experience, and it's kind of strange. It's oh, look, a Helltide. It's a little strange to see it be that quick, and I'd like to see that adjusted. And beyond that, I'd also like to see the experience rate adjusted from level 50 plus. I don't know if you guys have tested this, but as soon as you hit 50, the amount of experience required jumps an incredible amount. The leveling speed greatly reduces, and it's just kind of strange to be like 1 through 50, you know, smooth sailing, and all of a sudden the amount of time you need to spend on leveling between 50 and up is very high. Moving on. This is not something I'm really going to show, it's just something I'm going to talk about. The lack of story bosses in dungeons. When you're running Nightmare Dungeons at the end game, you fight the same bosses over and over. And the story bosses in the game, your Andariel, your Duriel, your Elias? Might get that name wrong. The guy that you fight a lot, I'll say it. I'm trying not to spoil any story stuff. The guy you fight a lot, he's not there. And generally speaking, think about the story bosses versus your dungeon bosses, like your undead dude with the big guy with the 2 tentacle arms, the undead goat type of looking dude. Like there's even like a Carver shaman boss. Just think about them for a second, and then compare them to your Duriel, your Andariel, your Lilith. Those story bosses are a lot more fleshed out, right? They got more abilities, they're more fun to fight, and they should be more rewarding, by the way. Why aren't they included in the Nightmare Dungeons? Just like how Butcher appears randomly in a dungeon, why can't we say, hey, normally this dungeon has this boss, but guess what? Lilith is here this time, and Dariel's here this time, Duriel's here this time, and the boss fight is harder and more rewarding. So now it's not the normal boss that you normally fight, you get a random story boss. And that's not only an awesome additional like surprise, it adds variety to the game, it adds a little bit more difficulty, and it adds more rewards. Plus, Blizzard, you did a good job with those story bosses. You did a pretty damn good job. Some of them were pretty cool. Why can't we fight them again? The only one you can fight is Lilith at level 100, but it's not really even the same thing. It's a different fight. It's not really accessible to everyone during their playtime. You know, that's a true end game experience, and it's not really like available during the leveling process. So, what the hell, Blizzard? Make use of those awesome bosses you made. Throw them in the game. Let us fight them, you know, more often and more than once. Okay, Nightmare Dungeons. Blizzard talked about fixing the experience rate and such for Nightmare Dungeons. They also had a cool little adjustment to the Nightmare Dungeon system, the sigils. When you activate a sigil, it'll teleport you directly to the dungeon rather than just appearing on the map as the Nightmare Dungeon that you can now run to. It'll teleport you there, so that, you know, it speeds up the experience and it makes it more beneficial for the leveling process. It'll speed up your leveling rather than, you know, traveling 3 to 4 minutes out of your way to get into the dungeon. You're immediately in there. You can keep your grind going, right? I like that change. But Nightmare Dungeons, the keys, the sigils, they only pull from a range of dungeons. How would I word this differently? Within a specific range of sigils, it'll only pull from a small amount of dungeons. So for instance, we're gonna try something out here. I'm gonna waste some materials here. I'm gonna craft 5 dungeons there and 5 dungeons in these tiers, and we're gonna take a quick look at them. Some of them dropped on the ground. We'll clear some space and we'll pick these 2 up. And I'm gonna sort my inventory here because it's full. But we're gonna look at sigils here. So the highest tiers are sorted first, and the lowest tiers are sorted at the end. So we're gonna look at this: Conclave Nightmare, Core Dragon, Sunken Ruins, Serpent's Lair, Black Asylum. You'll notice something. Okay, here we go. Tier 25, Alderwood, Feral's Den, Whispering Pines, Zenith. So there's a certain amount of dungeons that can only appear in a specific range. So we're going to craft some more again. We're going to do, I'm going to show this as an example. I already know how this works, but I want you guys to see it for yourself. I'm going to craft 5 more. So I have 5 crafts of the tier 31s to 35 dungeons in my inventory. So Conclave Nightmare, Core Dragon, Demon's Wake, Blind Burrows, Sunken Ruins, Cultist Refuge, Serpent's Lair, Black Asylum, Lost Archives. So there's a fair amount of dungeons here in this range, but it doesn't include all of them. So as you're spending your time farming dungeons in this range here, let's say let's just say you're I don't know, maybe you run 15 to 20 nightmare dungeons in this range. You see the same dungeons over and over and over while you're in this range. Why? Why do you have some dungeons in this range, some dungeons in this range, some dungeons in this range? Because you're generally spending like, when you're up near tier 31 and such, you're like level 50, it's 54 plus the tier, 50, 60, 70, 80. You're around level 80 something. So you're taking a great deal of time to level around this range. Now you're close to level 90, 60, 70, 80, 90. Yeah, you're getting close to level 90 in this range here. You're 90 something, 90 to 93, 94, right around here. Well, 41 to 50 is a huge range. That'll take you literally to a level 100 doing this range. And you're there for so long that you're constantly running the same dungeons over and over. Why? Why do you do this, Blizzard? You have so many dungeons on the map that you can run so many different dungeons. Like, look at that. Look how many dungeons are on the map. There's so many of them. Why aren't you making use of all of them in the entire range? Add more variety to it. Why would we limit ourselves? I don't understand it. I don't get it. I cannot imagine that this is the true end game. Maybe Blizzard already plans to change this and add it to all ranges, but what the heck? If this is the true plan, it doesn't make any sense to me. Now, the item power range. We're going on to our next thing. Item power here. You'll see 738, 781, and my sword, which is like my strongest piece of equipment and also my most important piece of equipment, 818. Very high. To my understanding, the highest item level that has been found so far is 845. Maybe that changed by the time you guys watch this video. I'm not sure. I got this 818 item off a level 94 enemy. 94. I have yet to see an item over 800 while fighting levels 118 enemies. Level 118, I have not seen an item drop above item level 800. I have not. The item power range is so large when fighting enemies that you can get massive item upgrades around level 95. Like, oh, you're fighting level 95 enemies, maybe 90, level 90 enemies. You can get over 800 item power level off these enemies, but you're fighting enemies level 110 and higher, and you barely ever see anything over 800. Now, it doesn't mean it cannot happen. It can. You can certainly get over 800 from fighting enemies 110 and higher. And those are difficult fights, especially in hardcore, right? It's risky. You might lose your character. You're fighting them, and you're putting your character through great risk to fight these enemies much higher level than you. So you should be rewarded for it, right? Well, the current system, you're better off farming level 95 mobs in a dungeon that is much, much easier to clear with little to no risk of you actually dying. We'll just go to Iron Hold here. And I want to leave these keys. Wait a minute. I need those. Scroll of Escape and keys are important. So we're going to go here to the dungeon. I'm just going to show you, like, you can quickly burn through these dungeons and greatly increase your quantity of items. Not quality, but quantity. But in turn, the more items you get, the higher your chance is at finding a better item and a better upgrade. So you greatly reduce the risk of losing your character, you greatly increase your kill speed, which thus means more loot. I find that I get upgrades at a massively quicker rate, at a much higher rate, fighting just normal dungeons, not going to nightmare dungeons, not fighting higher levels, not putting myself at risk, and fighting low-level enemies that are just super easy to kill. I get more out of it. I get more gold out of it. I get more upgrades out of it. It just doesn't make sense. It's a poorly built system, and I really think the solution here is to reduce the range of items, the item power. It's to greatly reduce the range, and if you do that, and you see I hit for 630,000, just essentially one-shot that guy once I took out the enemy that's reducing the damage they take. Those purple enemies, you take them out, and I'm essentially one-shotting everything. I apply the vulnerability, and I one-shot them. And believe it or not, as a level 100, and I have over 100 hours of playtime at level 100, I'm still getting upgrades here by just farming this night and day, all day, every day. And you know what? It's boring. It's very boring to do. There's no challenge in it at all, and I wouldn't be doing a video like this if I was truly doing content that was tough, because I have to concentrate, right? I don't want to lose my character. So I think the item power range is way too large. I should not be getting level 800 item power items around level 90, and then seeing items below 700 drop when I'm fighting enemies 110 and higher. It just doesn't make sense. So I'd rather fight these level 95s, get items, get much more items, and in turn end up getting more upgrades more often, and just end up making my character stronger for less risk. It doesn't make sense. So the solution, in my opinion, is to reduce the range. So you see items like, okay, I'm killing level 90 enemies, so my item powers is around 700 to 725, maybe 750. 700 to 750. Currently, it's like 600 to 815 or 850. Well, maybe not 850. I haven't seen it that high, but like 825. So the range on fighting level 90-something enemies is massive, and that's throughout the entire game. It's got a massive range like that, and I know you've seen it. I challenge you to go fight a bunch of enemies around your level, get about 20 drops, and look at the item level variation in these drops. They're just absurd, and we're gonna get to what I call the party room. And you'll see what I'm going to talk about here. We're probably coming up on it, and it varies on where the party room is every time the dungeon randomly generates. So let's go find our party room real quick, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I think I just saw the party room right there. But we got a shrine. We're going to grab the shrine real quick. We're going to see what this shrine is. All right, lethal shrine. Not my favorite because I crit so often already. But we're gonna find the party room. Okay, here's the party room. All right, partly. It's like a mini party room right now. So we're gonna go ahead and kill a bunch of these elites here in the party room. Not quite the party room I was hoping for, but it gets much bigger. And I'm not only gonna pick up the ancestrals. I'm gonna pick up the ones that are possible that they can be upgrades. You know what? We'll pick up the sacreds too, because you guys are gonna be like, well, wait a minute. How do you know if the sacreds don't also apply the same thing, the same situation? Well, I promise you, it does. It doesn't matter, sacred or otherwise, or ancestral. You're still going to deal with the same item level range, and that's a problem. So we're going to look at this right now. We're going to pull it up right after I get to the next. I'm assuming there's another party room in here, because normally they're bigger. Nope, it's just an event. Okay, so we're going to kill these enemies, get them off me, so I can look at my my inventory real quick. All right, so let's take a quick look at what we got here. So this was the one I upgraded before. I picked up a blue by accident, apparently. Okay, so 789, not bad. 684, 646. 765, moving on, 790, we're going to keep looking, 679, 696, 746. So generally they're around the mid 700s, so that's not too bad, but they range so much. We got a 646 here, and I have seen over 800 in this dungeon. So you're ranging from below 650 all the way to above 800. I had like an 805 in here. The range of items is just absurd. So you're better off going for quicker clears, going for higher quantity of items, meaning more items will generally give you a higher chance at getting something good, getting an upgrade. It's just a poor system. It's a poor system. It's like, for those of you that know WoW, it's like running Molten Core, and every single boss can drop items from Scarlet Monastery. It has a chance to drop Scarlet Monastery or Razorfen Downs, the dungeon no one runs. It's like it's got a chance to drop items from there, or I can drop Molten Core items. That is not a good feeling to go up against a raid boss and really, you know, fight tougher content. Molten Core is not tough, but let's just say like it's tough for you. It's a little bit harder. You're just starting out raiding, and your guild gets it down, and you get items that are just, I don't know, equivalent to blues you can get from farming dungeons. You might as well just farm the dungeons that have a chance to drop Molten Core items, because that's essentially how this works. It's like you can go farm Scarlet Monastery, and a Molten Core item might drop. And you're clearing Scarlet Monastery so much quicker. You're just going all, you know, running through it super fast. You're not at risk of dying. You're not at risk of wiping. You're not having a hard time. And you're getting Scarlet Monastery gear, but also, look, a Molten Core piece dropped. Look, another Molten Core piece dropped. That's essentially how it's designed right now. And it's just, it's dumbfounding to me. It's just a poor system. I don't think it's a good idea. And I know I spent a lot of time on this specific topic, but I do think it's very, very important to get this fixed, because the endgame item farming just makes no sense. The next thing I'm going to talk about is also related to gear. You'll notice at the bottom right of every single piece of gear requires level 100, requires level 100, 100, 100. Doesn't matter if it's sacred, doesn't matter if it's ancestral, it's going to require level 100. And it just makes no sense. It just doesn't make any sense to me why the items are dropping for my level 100 character. They will always require level 100. But the problem is, you can get this gear at level 70. You can, ancestral gear, the minimum level to equip it is 60. Minimum level equip sacred is 40. 40 and then 60, yes. But that requirement, so if it's a level 60 requirement to equip this item, it goes up as your character levels. So if you're level 65 and you get this to drop, it'll be level 65 to equip. So if I got this level 65, this item to drop when I was level 65, it would require level 65. I could put it in my stash, and then when I get a character to 65, I could equip it at 65. But because I got it to drop at 100, the required level is 100. Why? What is that? That's unheard of. In any game I've ever played, I've never seen a system like this. I'm gonna relate to what I know again. I'm gonna talk about WoW. It's like you get a bind on equip blue item in vanilla WoW, and I'm gonna talk about vanilla WoW, not retail. Don't really like retail WoW at all. But you get a BOE world drop, right? You get a blue dropped, and they're somewhat rare in vanilla WoW. You get a blue to drop, and it's bind on equip, and you're like, oh, I'm a level 60, I'm max level for vanilla WoW, and it dropped a level 40 item. Cool, or drop the Kroll Blade, like a BOE Epic. Should the BOE Epic raise to a level 60 requirement now? Because I got it from a level 40 dungeon that I was running as my 60, and a BOE Epic dropped out of there. Maybe, I don't know, Edge Masters dropped, for those of you guys that know Edge Masters. Maybe they dropped and it's like, great, but now they're level 60 for some reason. It just doesn't make any sense. Like a Burning War Axe, I believe that was a BOE Blue. Why would that raise to a max level player when you can't even really use that item at a max level? It doesn't make sense. It's just extremely weak, besides the Edge Masters. Edge Masters is a different situation. But I digress. That's WoW is not the topic of this video, as much as I love vanilla WoW. Next thing, we're going to leave here because we're not talking about items anymore. Clan integration. A massive lack of clan integration in the game. I know clan storage is coming, but with the lack of trading in the game, which I understand why, people ruin everything with real money trading, item trading, selling items online. They ruin everything for the honest players, right? People that don't cheat, that don't exploit stuff and race to world's first level 100, that don't exploit all day, that actually play the game legit. Yeah, that is a shot fired about someone. But it doesn't make sense to have this clan system with clan trading, with the clan storage, when you can't even trade anything. Like everything's locked. Almost nothing can be traded in this game. It's very weird. So the clan storage chest almost means nothing. It's almost useless. And it's just a very strange to have that be the only integrated system. The only integrated system for clans is what? We got a chat. We got a list of clan members, and we could do a clan icons, which I haven't even changed. I should get around to doing that, the heraldry here. Sure, that's literally it. And you got a little tag for your guild. It just doesn't make any sense to me why, like, what is this system? It's just so bare bones that I don't really like it. I don't think it's a good system. There's almost nothing to it at all. And I really do think we need to see more integration with it, whether it's guild leveling or something of the sort, something to make it meaningful. And I'm hoping we see that. I'm hoping we see some more integration into the clan system, because I gotta say this. I say it all the time. Again, I hate to keep referencing WoW. I apologize for you guys that don't play WoW or have never played WoW, which is probably almost no one. But Cataclysm, a pretty widely agreed crappy expansion for WoW. I don't think it was a good one. I don't think it was horrible. Certainly wasn't the worst, but it had a system in the expansion that allowed you to level your guilds, and it gave you bonuses based off the guild's level. I loved it. It is the only thing from Cataclysm I actually liked. Guess what they removed? Guess the only thing they didn't actually continue from Cataclysm was the guild leveling system. You got the pet system, you carried every piece of crap system from Cataclysm, you carried it on. But the guild leveling system was abandoned right away, right after Cataclysm. And I was like, what? That's literally the best thing you did in Cataclysm was the guild leveling system. And they removed that. So Blizzard seems to have something against guild leveling systems for some reason, but I truly enjoyed it. And I'm hoping that maybe they come around to it. Maybe they add something like that in the future, because it's really bare bones right now. I don't know why we have this clan system in the first place when there's nothing to it. It's literally a glorified chat box, and everyone uses Discord nowadays, so it's essentially useless. We got a little clan tag that means nothing because there's no, hardcore PvP or anything of the sort. There's no real competitiveness, clan versus clan in Diablo 4. So, do something about clans, Blizzard, please. The last section, I'm sure this is going to be a part 1 video, because I'm sure I'm going to do another video in the future about things we really need to see improved upon in Diablo 4, but I'm pretty sure I hit a lot of the major topics. The next 4 things I'm going to talk about, Blizzard already talked about in their recent stream, but I do have one that I'm like, what the hell, Blizzard? Map exploration is not shared. So if you lose your character, like I had the map explored at one time, but this is like a character that did not have it explored. You don't share map exploration. Blizzard confirmed that is going to change. You are going to share map exploration through characters. That is something I had on my list before Blizzard even announced it. Awesome. Gems. Another thing I had on my list before Blizzard talked about. I think everyone had that on their list, right? Like, it eats up your inventory so fast. Blizzard announced that they are going to add it to this. There's going to be like a tab here for gems as well. So gems are going to go in there. Stays out of your inventory. Good change coming. Thank you, Blizzard. Resistances are quite weak right now. They're not useless, but they're weak. They do very little. And it doesn't really justify, trying to go for resistances. You're better off going for armor and every other source of damage reduction you can find, like damage reduction to close enemies, damage reduction for enemies that are bleeding, damage reduction from distant enemies, all that sort of stuff. You're better off doing that with armor than going resistances. So while resistances do work, kinda, they definitely need to be bumped up. But again, Blizzard did confirm that they are doing that. They are definitely going to make resistances a lot more useful. And the last, and absolutely not least in any way, shape, or form, the scrolls of escape not working properly. When you disconnect, the game crashes or something, the scroll is supposed to kick in and port you back to town and save your life. And of course, we're talking about these right here, the scroll of escape. You can use them on your own to escape. By the way, if you don't have these bound to a key, if you don't have them bound to a hotkey like that, by the way, I did not right click that. I hit a key to use it on my keyboard. You need to have that bound to a key if you are playing hardcore. Please do yourself a favor. I also have a video uploaded about that. Check the channel for that and tips on how to get that bound to your wheel here, how to bind it to a key. But they are not working. Scrolls of Escape are not working properly to save you automatically when you disconnect. They are not working properly. And again, I'll show that one more time. I'm going to hit a key. Ready? Boop. And it just used the Scroll of Escape and teleported me back. It'll save your life. Very, very important. But they're not working properly, and Blizzard said they're going to fix them in Season 2. What? That is literally the most important thing in the game to fix right now. Like it or not, whether or not you play hardcore, hardcore is a big, big feature in this game, and a large amount of the community plays hardcore. To lose your character to a disconnect or a crash, it is the most depressing thing to do, and I've already seen a lot of people say, I'm done until this gets fixed. I'm out of here. And the season one is coming mid to late July. That's still not going to fix this. So a lot of people are probably going to say, I will wait. I'm not going to play Season 1. Then you got the FOMO thing going on where well, if you don't play Season 1, you miss out on the season rewards and all that stuff, that everyone likes that stuff. Maybe the titles or the emotes and the cosmetics and the mounts that you'll never be able to get before or get again in future seasons or anything. So that sucks. So you kind of have to come for Season 1 whether or not you want to, if you're going to care at all about those stuff, if you truly care. But Season 2, Blizzard? What does that give us? I say about 3 months per season. July, August, September, October. That leads like October, November until this gets fixed. That's a long time, man. This is a pretty bad issue going on right now. That's pretty bad, because Scrolls of Escape were advertised to do exactly what they're not doing right now, which is to save your life in case of a disconnect. And you can always use them to actively port out, like I showed you. Season 2, little weird. I'm glad they at least acknowledged it and they're gonna get it fixed. But maybe there's more going on behind the scenes. Like, I don't know. We need some network engineers on this, or maybe it's so difficult to fix. I imagine it is, considering the fact that they're pushing that to season 2. I imagine it's quite difficult to fix. So maybe there's something going on behind the scenes we don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, guys, this is probably already a long video, and I can go on and on about some things that need to be fixed. But I want to talk about those main topics. Do you have anything on your mind? What do you want to see fixed? If I didn't cover anything, or maybe I did cover something that you want fixed, let me know. Let me know in the comments. What else do you not really like about Diablo 4 you think needs to be adjusted? Let me know. I want to hear from you guys. I definitely like to talk Diablo 4. I always love to talk it. If you like this video, you know how it is on YouTube. Like, subscribe. Definitely keeps me motivated to deliver more content, and I definitely have more coming. I slowed down a little bit as I was playing D4 and leveling to 100. I apologize for that, but definitely catch me on stream. I'll have that link down below in the description. And please, hit me up in Discord. Hit me up in the guild if you're looking to join a guild to maybe you need some boosts. We don't charge for that. We don't charge gold, or definitely not real money, because people do that. Don't do that. That's scummy stuff. Don't do that, please. If you need help, you need any help in game, you're trying to shoot for that statue spots on the Lilith statue in hardcore, you need assistance, hit me up. I'm happy to help fellow viewers and fans. I don't think I can call anyone that watches my stuff a fan, because I'm too small of a channel to even be considered that. But I truly appreciate it, and I'm here for you if you need anything. Hit me up. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later!